Welcome back to Earth Station Trek, a show where we trek from the early days on NBC to the future on Paramount Plus and everywhere in between. I'm Charles Kelso, and it's my privilege to introduce the Earth Station Trek crew. Alan Seiler.
Even colored in, sorry, I screwed it up. Even covered in alien sploof, there's no place I'd rather be.
And Veronica Dashel.
Hi.
And it's Star Trek Day.
Woo-hoo!
Wow, not Star
Woo-hoo!
Trek Day, but it's Star Trek Premiere Day. It's like New Year.
Yes.
It is like New Year.
We might be launching into another 50 weeks of Star Trek. I guess we'll see.
Yeah.
Yep.
Did we have any news this week?
Oh my gosh, we have got so much news.
Awesome.
Right? Okay, first of all, there's a couple of things that just sort of came out earlier today. The first one, Nichelle Nichols' ashes are going to be taken into space.
Oh, wow.
This is
Hey.
Yes, this is going to be on an upcoming Celestis flight, which is happening later this year. And the rocket on which she will be carried is called Vulcan, and it's
Wow.
part of the Enterprise flight mission. And this is similar to how, this has happened a couple of times prior.
Mhm.
Gene Roddenberry. Who else?
James Doohan? Did
Doohan,
some of
that's
his
it.
actions get sent up? Yeah.
Yes, I did. And I was like, I know this. Why can't I think of who it is? So yeah, Nichelle will be out amongst the stars, which I think is so exciting.
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely.
Okay. So this is spoilery. So if anybody who's viewing live doesn't, or later on, doesn't want to know, mute your sound so that you don't hear what I'm saying. And
What is
then
it
I'll do
spoilery
like this.
for?
I'll do like this, huh?
What is it spoilery for?
Well, if they don't want to know any spoilers at all.
Okay.
But it's
okay.
about Picard season 3.
Okay.
Okay. So here we go. Spoiler in 3, 2, 1. Denise Crosby has pretty much confirmed that she will be in Picard season 3 as Tasha Yar.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Now we knew already going into this that they said that there will be references to Tasha
Mm-hmm.
in some way. I guess it was a Star Trek Las Vegas or something.
Right.
Very like yesterday or today or whatever. She has said that you will see Tasha in
Yeah.
the new season, but she won't say how that is,
Right.
how that happens.
Yeah. It's exciting.
Yes,
It's
it is.
exciting. Yeah.
It is. We have pretty much the whole family back together, but now we just got to get Diana Muldaur.
True. Yeah.
True.
Diana Muldaur. And we don't have any confirmation, I don't think, about Wesley Crusher appearing in Picard season 3.
That's true.
It's
But-
possible. He could pop in.
That's true. He certainly could. He's a
Yeah.
traveler.
Yeah.
But you know what? He had his time. So if he doesn't get it, I mean, I'm sure that they are going to do something with him.
Yeah, I would like to see him interact with some other member of the TNG crew.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
100%. All right. So
Specifically Picard.
spoilers over. Okay. So over the weekend, Armin Shimmerman said that he would absolutely be willing to come back to one of the Trek shows to play Quark again.
Mm-hmm.
He said that with a couple of caveats. I know that makes Veronica's heart just all aflutter.
Yes.
He had a couple of caveats. One, he wouldn't want to do it on a regular basis. He would only do it as a one-off, like a guest appearance in an episode or whatever.
Right.
Because he would not want to be in that makeup for an entire season.
Right.
And he said he would do it depending on the pay.
Yeah.
Mm.
You know, I mean, you can't blame
And I'm
him for
assuming
that.
also he still wanted his same makeup person.
Right.
Yeah, he wanted his makeup lady who
And
did
his
makeup.
right, and his makeup person. Exactly. And you know, you can't blame him for any of that stuff.
No.
Oh no. And that photo of him from just a few years ago at a convention as Quark, and it's
Yeah.
just Quark.
Yeah.
He looks exactly like Quark.
Exactly.
So I would love that.
Oh my gosh, that would be amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they could easily do it on Lower Decks, you know,
True.
because there is an episode set on DS9 this year. So we know that they'll be seeing somebody, whether they interact with that, whoever it is,
Right.
you know, we don't know.
Yeah.
But,
That's true.
and then finally, this is another spoiler. So if anybody doesn't want to know, this is about Picard season 3 again.
It's a
should have grouped
minefield
those-
today.
I should have like grouped those together.
Right.
So this is about Brent Spiner's character,
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
the mystery character. And Terry Metalis says, Brent's character is specifically tied into the plot and the mythology in ways that if you were to show a poster, you would have 1,000 more questions. And I think you want to earn it, but he plays a new old character that you have seen before, but you've never seen before.
Okay.
It's we think a great way to do this that honors both what has come before and yet treads new ground. What could that mean?
Well, it sounds like it's not Sung Jr.
No.
So good, because it's got to be something more Data-ish than Sung Jr. Something more interesting than that.
Exactly. I think
Yeah.
it has to be.
Yeah.
So maybe a new like human, like a Picard version of Data.
Could be. It could be
That's
a hologram.
Hologram.
Yeah.
Right. So anything's possible. Well, I think it's got to be something that, I don't know, I'm just guessing that it has to be something that doesn't require him to look like he used to look.
True.
Yeah.
He has to be something that looks like his current age. So I'm thinking maybe a human-ish avatar.
Yeah, that could very well be.
I don't know. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But lots of possibilities for this. And I'm excited that I'm so jazzed for this season.
Yeah, me too.
Come on, man. Don't let me down like season 2 did.
Right.
And that wraps up the news for this week.
Awesome. And Veronica, I saw a piece of news that I thought you'd be interested in. That Star Trek Wines has released an announcement of their new bottles.
Yes.
There's a Romulan ale this time.
Yep.
And
that was one of the ones I mentioned a while ago about voting on them.
Yeah.
It
And-
looks like they decided to do both of them.
Yeah, because there's a Rycian wine or Rycian wine that was seen on
Ooh,
Enterprise
nice.
once. And then 2 versions of Chateau Picard, one from Picard season 3, and then one that appeared in a background of a scene in Strange New Worlds.
Wow.
Yeah, in Pike's Bar, I guess. There was Chateau
Wow.
Picard that was out of focus and you would never have known. But Star Trek
nice.
Wines knows,
Right. Star Trek Wines knows all.
and they know we will buy it.
Yep.
Matt Sweatman is watching. Hi, Matt. And he
Hey.
says, we get hyped for every season of Picard. So far, it's 0 for 2. Dude.
Yeah, I like about the first half of both of those seasons. So,
Right.
you know what? I'll say it's 0.5 for. I don't know how the math works out. I'm not a mathematician, but
Right. It's 1 for 2. In one meaning half of one and half of the other.
right, 2.5s for 2.
Right, exactly. I've loved the first half of season 2.
Yeah.
And then it just went to chaos.
Mm-hmm.
But we covered all that before, so
True.
nothing new there. But
Yeah.
yeah, man, I'm still just jazzed as heck for
Mm-hmm.
season 3.
This is the one that can't screw up. Like, you can screw up the Back in
Right.
Time season made during the pandemic, but you can't screw up the TNG finale season.
Right. If you're
So-
wrapping up an entire era
Mm-hmm.
of Trekdom,
Yeah.
don't mess it up.
Right.
Oh, and I've mentioned this a couple of times, but Terry Matalas said on Twitter a while back, somebody asked him, what would you do with Star Trek if you could do anything you want? And he said, Picard season 3.
Mhm.
So, buddy, your reputation is on the line.
That's right.
If this thing that coming up is the exact thing that you would most want to do with Star Trek, I hope it's a good one.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Or we're running you out of town, Buster. Oh, I'm full of threats tonight.
That's right.
So one other thing that's semi-news, for those of you that may have missed the 1 or 2 times I mentioned it, there's a company called Cherry Tree. They do Borg cube or Borg artifact cube computer cases.
Right.
And they've
Oh,
been expanding what they've been doing beyond just the Borg cases. This one isn't quite as exciting as some of the others, and I'm not remembering what the others are off the top of my head.
Because they're not exciting.
But because I already have a case, so I don't need to spend $600 on another case.
That's true.
Sure.
The cases are really awesome and totally
So what's
worth
the new
money.
one that?
But the thing that I found that was cool and not overly expensive was a TNG keyboard where they had, like, instead of the Windows key, it had the little delta, and then instead of enter, it said it engage, and a couple of other little things.
I
on the
think
keyboard.
it said the final frontier. Because
No,
it's
I
space.
think that was the space bar.
Isn't that what you said? Or did
No,
you- okay.
engage was enter.
Oh, okay, my mistake.
yeah.
The space bar says the final frontier. On it.
Yes. Yeah.
So is it
and
just the key label is changed?
Yes.
Yeah.
There's more. Is that it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, and it's like $26.
Yeah, it's not an
and
expensive thing.
it's a black keyboard and it has yellow
Oh.
keys in the TNG
Mm.
style.
When you told me about it, I had hoped that it would be like LCARS.
that's
Yeah,
exactly what I was going to
Right?
say.
Yeah,
That would have
How
been
cool
awesome.
would that be?
that would be very cool.
Oh, somebody
But you
get on
can't
it.
just do a standard keyboard layout
No.
and just repaint the keys on
No,
that
it's
one.
got to be like a flat panel touch screen kind of thing, but with a keyboard layout and
Mhm.
and backlit. It has to be backlit,
That's right.
Yeah.
dude. Oh, I want that now. Somebody get that for my birthday. Even
Someone
though
make
no
a
one-
little tablet thing that you can turn into an LCARS keyboard for hooking up to your computer.
Okay, I'm glad you said that because that reminds me of a point that I need to make about the episode, and I had forgotten about it, and now I hope I remember it.
Okay. Well, are we ready? Want to get into the episode?
Yeah.
Sure.
All right. Well, if you're listening to this on the audio podcast, we'll take a quick break right here and promote a fellow ESO Network podcast show. And then when we come back, we'll be talking about Star Trek Lower Deck Season 3 premiere. So stay right there. And if you're watching live, Veronica, do you want to bring us back with a spoiler alert?
Boop, 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 boop. Spoilers. Boop, 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 boop. Spoilers.
Perfect. So
Oh,
Grounded.
That's funny.
It's back.
Holy,
Yay, my spoilers are back.
yeah, that's what we're talking about. Oh man, I am so happy
Oh, it
that
was
this
so
show
great.
is back.
Yes.
Oh,
It's like a Star Trek blanket you just wrap yourself up in, and it's just
Yeah.
so much Star Trek, and it's so heartwarming.
yeah.
Mhm.
I love this episode. I thought it was.
Oh, I
great.
did too.
Yes.
I did
Yeah.
too. It's a great place to launch the season,
Mhm.
not
Mhm.
just because of the cliffhanger beforehand, and it picks up, and continues that story on, but it's just a good place to start with the characters and their relationship with each other,
Mhm.
and setting the tone for what's going to come for the next 9 episodes. Thought
Yeah.
it was fantastic.
And we got to see them all back on Earth and
Yeah.
learn a little bit about all of them
Yes.
by
Yeah.
sort of how they interact with Earth.
Yeah.
Boimler,
And the big red thing.
right?
Oh, that was good.
Yeah, Boimler's family's vineyard is a raisin vineyard, which they've been talking about that for a few weeks, but it's still fun to see,
Yes.
That was hilarious.
and that fits Boimler.
Yes. I really liked all the girls coming on to him, and he's just like, ugh. And it's
Like he was
doesn't realize what was going on.
right, completely unaware.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The other possibility that I had for my intro quote is, "Do you want to test the sweetness of my bushel?" Dude, that's the best line ever.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I love how it's very much like Picard, but like a lamer version. Like if you live on a vineyard, but it's a vineyard that makes raisins,
Right.
not
It's like-
wine.
It's a lower deck Picard.
Right.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah.
Mm.
And it is a lot of fun to see like Cisco's restaurant
Oh, yeah.
in New Orleans. And
Yep.
now Veronica, you told me before, but now I forgot. Is it an alligator or a crocodile that hangs from the ceiling?
So I'm pretty sure there it's a crocodile.
Which one was it on DS9?
I thought it was a crocodile
Okay.
because it's New Orleans area.
Yeah, I
and
remember Jake
alligators
talking
are
about it. But
Florida.
anyways, you could see it in the background of the shot.
Mhm.
Didn't
when
even
they're-
notice that.
Yeah, there's an alligator hanging from the ceiling.
That's so funny.
Crocodile.
I know. My
I should
bad.
have thought. Whatever.
I don't even know the
It's-
difference.
It's an alligator. A crocodile.
I love their civilian clothes.
Yes. Oh, so much.
It's
Yeah.
straight out of TNG.
Yeah.
Straight out of TNG,
Yeah.
especially
Well,
Rutherford sweater was.
Rutherford sweater made me think more of Jake Sisko.
Yes.
It did.
Yeah,
It
and
did.
then Boimler's outfit was like, I think it was Wesley from Journey's End. But it's just perfect. And I love I'm jumping ahead a little bit, but I love when like, do we look good enough for Starfleet or whatever? He's like, my shirt could be a little more asymmetrical, I guess.
Right.
Yeah.
I loved it. Loved it.
Yes.
I wonder how many cosplays of those are going to be at Dragon Con. The problem is a lot of those were long sleeved, which does not bode
True.
well for
Yeah.
Dragon Con
Well,
weather.
you might can make them out of. I mean, people wear hot costumes at Dragon Con
I
all the time.
know,
Yeah.
but I do not want to, and I want to wear cool costumes, but all the cool characters have like 3 layers or really long sleeves, and that's uncomfortable, and I want to be comfortable.
Okay.
Hey, look who's here.
Hello.
What's
How's it
up?
going?
Hey.
Made it!
What's
Yay!
up?
Hey,
Boy,
Keith.
that was some quick entertainment.
Yeah, we're talking about lower deck spoilers. Did you get a chance to see it?
I just did.
Oh, good.
Oh, good.
And,
Wow.
and unfortunately, the only word in my mind right now is alien sploof, and that's a horrible thing in my mind.
That was Alan's opening.
Oh my gosh!
Uh,
Wow.
well, welcome, Keith Johnson. All right, if you're listening
Thanks.
to the audio podcast, Keith has now joined us. He just beamed in. So yeah, we were just talking about their civilian costumes and going to Cisco's restaurant. That's as far as we've gotten on the episode so far.
Cool.
Yeah. How did you like it, Keith?
I enjoyed it. I thought it was good. It was. I'm not gonna. I was surprised at the resolution. I thought it was gonna be a little deeper, but it's the Packlids. So
Yes.
because
Yeah.
Because I'm kind of thinking, if you just want to move to another planet, you got the freaking Federation. I'm sure they'll work with you, but that's the Packlids for you, right? And
Yeah.
think
Right.
about that. Only the Packlids would do something stupid like blow up an entire city, and the graphic looked like the graphic they showed in the recap looked like it had dug into the planet's core or something.
Right.
It was insane. So I thought that was kind of funny.
Yeah, it does look like a Pac-Led plan to blow up their own planet to get a new planet.
Right.
That seems very much Pac-Led to me.
Yes.
Yeah.
Since we've jumped ahead already, I will say that I was a little disappointed with how quickly it wrapped up,
Same here.
but I knew it wouldn't carry on beyond this episode.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I wish it had gone a couple, like at least 2 episodes, but I knew that it wouldn't.
Well, it's like
So-
a next-gen style resolution to a cliffhanger.
Exactly.
It's
That's
always
what I
They
was
didn't,
going to
solve,
say.
they didn't solve it in the first 5 minutes of the
Well, yeah, next gen they would usually take the whole first episode of the season to wrap it up in a way that never really seemed satisfying. But
Right.
I love that it was all about the characters, and the thing I love,
Yeah.
well, I guess the 2 things I loved the most about this one was that Mariner was dead set that she had to be the one to save the day, that
Right.
Starfleet's going to let him down, and everyone's telling her the whole time, no, we can trust Starfleet. Starfleet's going to do the right thing,
Right.
and
Right.
she was wrong.
Yeah.
You know, Starfleet
Yeah.
came through. Starfleet took care of things. The system works.
Yep.
And then the other thing I loved the most about this was Bozeman, Montana.
Yes.
Yes.
So
Who
great.
would right? Who would ever have suspected a cameo appearance?
Yeah.
From
Yeah.
James Cromwell.
I know,
Come on, that was so great.
and done so well. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, because it built on what I mean, it's all consistent with what Geordi said in First Contact, where this whole area is a landmark and there's a statue of you, but he didn't tell me it was a theme park,
right.
the Phoenix Fun Zone.
right?
I thought that was, and that one dude, Gavin.
Yes.
Why are we timeouting?
So Keith, do you have headphones in? Because I think I keep hearing us echo from your speakers.
Oh,
Okay, try again. Echo.
Echo, echo, echo. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm hearing myself.
Okay. Well,
I don't
hopefully it
know.
won't be in the
I just wanted to
recording.
mention it.
oh, it
Okay.
will be.
Okay.
Try again. Is that echoing?
Let's see. How much am I echoing? Yeah,
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm not hearing you echo at all on my side.
Yeah, I can hear it.
yeah,
You hearing me
That's all
echo or her echo?
Veronica.
yeah.
Oh,
You're hearing
okay.
me through your speakers because
This
I'm
is
coming out
riveting
through
live.
speakers.
I
Yeah.
was
Wow. Okay, let's
just gonna
try
say the
this.
same thing.
One
Let's just
second.
roll with it.
Okay.
Go into settings, Keith, and
Is that
click
any
on
better?
the and
This
click
is
on
what y'all
the
don't normally hear.
right.
Yeah.
Go
Is
to
that-
audio and then click on echo cancellation.
Is that better?
We don't
Let's
know.
see.
No. Okay, moving on.
Moving
We'll move
on.
Is that
Apologies
better?
for the auto quality.
Yeah.
Is that
Yeah. I
better?
mean,
We don't know.
We don't know. We have
No,
to.
it's not. It's not.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
Eh,
okay.
We'll live.
But they packed Bozeman, Montana full of Easter eggs.
Oh, it was so good.
Yes.
So great.
And I mean, like there was like a thirst contact, like a restaurant or something.
Yes.
And I love that people are just there's a hologram of Cochrane just taking people up on the Phoenix ride, and
Yep.
they turn the Vulcan ships a water slide.
with swing. It was
Right.
hilarious.
Yes.
Hilarious.
Yeah, I thought that was just a great way to put in all the Easter eggs in, and
Oh, yeah.
it builds upon the Star Trek universe as well.
Right.
Yeah,
What I want to know is how they have enough of those phoenixes to like make it a ride where the ride wait time is 25 minutes.
well, they're probably replicas.
But like, okay, still replicas.
Yeah.
But
Well,
that's
where-
a whole bunch of starships, and how are they rotating
Right.
through? And how do you get one in there? Is it one goes
I
up
don't
and then another
know.
comes
It's
out
the
of the I don't know.
24th century. Surely, ride technology has advanced. They can have another Phoenix slot in and someone else take off.
They just have like a materializer that lets like
Like a replicator?
Yeah.
Maybe, or maybe they just have them on a conveyor belt. I don't know.
Yeah. Conveyor belt. That's my
Yeah.
that's my theory.
But it was a working starship, right? It is actually truly going to warp.
Yeah, it went to warp 1.
Yeah.
Gavin thought he was going to explore the galaxy in it, and that's going to take him a while at warp
Right.
1.
Right.
But he got
So-
caught pretty quick.
Yeah.
Matt earlier said that Gavin is his new favorite character.
hmm
I hope he shows up again, just like a cameo in an episode later.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
would be great.
So I have a question though, Alan. You were saying that it was kind of maybe somewhat of a letdown, and I was saying it was a little anticlimactic. But I was just wondering. I watched the last 2 episodes of the last season 2, just kind of in prep.
Yeah.
And what about the whole thing with the? Well, they killed him, but the Klingon captain who was supplying the Packlets with the weaponry, is that just dead? Is there no conspiracy or anything?
Well,
past
he is.
that? Yeah. Is it just past him? Was that it? That ends the whole story with the Packlets?
We have no idea.
I don't know, but I feel like the
I think
Packlets are going
so.
to come back, and I feel
Yeah.
like that the Klingon lower decker who became the captain, I feel like
Right.
we're going to see again at some point.
Yeah.
Whether
Oh,
it's this
I-
season or not, I don't know.
I totally think we will.
Yeah.
I hope
Yeah,
the
absolutely.
Vulcan lower decker shows up on
Oh, yeah, she will.
Asterios.
Yeah.
She will.
Right, because he took off the Klingon who took over the command of the ship. You're right, he took off, and even the Vulcans and the Federation were musing about what the heck was that about. So I would have to assume, I would think there's more than just the one captain who died, who might have been behind the Klingon conspiracy to arm the Packlets and basically foment instability. Because it's kind of like right out of what was it, Star Trek, The Undiscovered Country. It was
Mhm.
that same thing again, where you don't trust your enemies and you want to start a war so you can basically get back to the good old days. And I got to believe it wasn't just that one captain who was, for some reason, thinking the Packlets were the perfect patsies to do that.
Right. Yeah.
So I expected more of that. And I expected the Vulcan, what's her name, T'Lyn. I expected to see her as well in the episode, but
Mhm.
I'm sure they'll be coming soon.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
Now
yeah.
that they're like back on the ship, actually.
Yeah. I hope
Right.
so.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Elaine says, this is Elaine Sweatman for those only listening to the podcast side of this. The one bad thing about watching Lower Decks in separate rooms, I don't have Matt there to automatically explain the Bozeman stuff to me.
Yep. Elaine's in isolation right now because she has COVID.
Oh,
Yep.
sorry to hear that.
Yeah. Me too.
Mm,
Get to feeling better, Elaine.
Yes.
absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, and I sort of skipped over the Federation news thing, but did you read the ticker that was going across the bottom?
Yes, it did.
There's so much crammed into that
There
ticker.
was.
It was all
Really?
Star Trek references.
Oh my
What was
gosh.
it?
Hilarious.
missed it. I
So
was
one of
kinda
them
rushing
said,
through.
one of them said Admiral Jellicoe has banned the Zebulon sisters from serving on starships.
Yeah.
So
Means no more choo choo.
no more choo-choo dance.
Okay, I can
But
see that.
Admiral Jellicoe's out there, and he's an admiral.
Yep.
One of them said, it was something Solar Knights were playing the London Kings
Right.
in a game. And it sounds like baseball's back because the London Kings were that 21st century team that Cisco loved.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it sounds like there's some baseball going on out there now.
Right.
And then the crowd rushed the stage at a Sonny Clemens concert.
I didn't get that. What is
Sonny Clemens,
Oh my God! Not
he
that
was that-
cornbone.
that Western singer that was awakened from cryo.
shut up.
And he said,
Um,
no one
the
remembers my
news was,
songs. I'll be bigger than I ever was.
Yeah.
Oh my god, that is a deep cut.
Yes,
He was
it
that
is.
country cornpone, Alan. And remember, in
Yeah,
an
I know.
episode I personally don't like, but
Well,
he was
nobody
the one
does.
he was the one who told
do.
Data, "Come on, son, turn TV on. I want to see how the Braves are doing." probably still find ways to lose. And so he was dogging out the Atlanta Braves. Of course, now they won,
Right.
Yeah.
He missed the World Series years. He was gone by 94.
Right.
Well, good point.
Yeah.
Yeah. I completely missed the reference to him.
Yeah. Those are the three that I caught. But I mean, the whole episode was full of that stuff.
Yeah, it was. There was one about a Stratagema competition.
Oh, that's right. There's a new Stratagema champion,
Yeah.
Grandmaster or whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Wow.
it was hilarious.
Yeah.
I'm going to go back and watch all that.
Oh yeah, I mean, I had the opportunity to watch it twice. So the first time I read as I was listening to the dialogue, so I had to split my attention. The second time, I just muted the dialogue because I knew what the dialogue was saying, and I just read the ticker. It's good stuff.
Yes. And then later on, we got little visual cameos of Tuvok and Captain Bateson.
Yep.
That was awesome. That was awesome.
I was more excited about Morgan Bateson. And I love
Me
Tuvok,
too.
but you sort of expect Tuvok
I
to
know.
be referenced.
You expect that. That's true.
But see, Morgan Bateson, now he's in command of an Akira class ship, and it's like, ooh.
Yeah,
That
is true.
And the illustrations, that was, now again, like you said, I was a little surprised at how quickly they resolved it, but I loved that flashback and the way she told it and the illustrations. They were awesome.
Yeah.
And Charles, like when they show Batesman, he was in one of those poses. They show everybody these really awesome action poses.
Right.
I thought that was great. And I think I read in one of the books, I thought, wasn't Batesman a Klingon expert? I think he was considered a Klingon expert. So he's kind of the guy he's kind of like Jellicoe. I think he's got some experience, and I think he's the guy you're not afraid to send into some tough situations. So I thought that was kind of funny.
Yeah. And like I said, I love the resolution that Starfleet did investigate. They didn't just drumhead the captain. They actually, she was exonerated without, I mean, our characters having to do anything.
Yeah.
They could have stayed home.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Which was funny. Yeah.
But had they stayed home, we would have just had an episode about making raisins, and
I would watch it.
Yes.
right, just to see a whole series of women that Boimler is completely oblivious to the fact that they're like coming onto him hardcore,
right?
Like just throwing themselves, like, please.
Yeah. Well, he's a space hero.
He is a space hero,
and I mean, probably set to inherit this vineyard.
Exactly.
I mean, Boimler's a catch back on Earth.
Heck yeah. Although I'm gonna say I am disappointed to know that his natural hair color is not purple.
Yeah.
Why?
Because I was hoping it was one of those weird Troy things where the only way you can tell a Betazoid from a human is that they have black irises in their eyes.
Right. Yeah.
And I was thinking, he's an alien, and the only difference is purple hair.
Yeah, that's a good point. But it's good. It's nice to just get that information, though.
No, I know. I thought it was hilarious.
Yeah.
So here's Matt's going to transition us.
Good.
Love the old security guy in the transporter center.
Yes.
Yeah.
I loved that whole sequence.
Yeah.
With
that was adorable.
The grandfatherly old guy who's like, people only ever come up here to like knock me out and, take over my transporters. But I love seeing all the relic transporter technology. That was so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I love that he was on their side. And I don't know, that whole thing was just so nice.
And I like he said he was a buffer buff.
Yeah.
A
I was
buffer
about
buff.
to say he was a bit of a buffer buff. It was hilarious.
If there's one thing I've got in this joint, it's gout.
Did you notice that also he had like a Voyager era uniform on?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is nice to see that. I don't know if we've seen one of those so far. Well, maybe Tom Paris. No, on the plate. Maybe Tom Paris on the plate had one.
Maybe.
Yeah, I think so.
I'm sure he did.
Anyways. But I love that the bait and switch with that, where it was like, oh, I heard this guy's a badass, and he's just like everybody's grandpa and offer him caramels, but then he turned a phaser on him and he's ready for him.
Right,
he's still guarding that transporter.
Matt's curious to know why Tuvok is still only a commander.
I had the same thought, Matt. I wrote that down because
Me
this
too.
is also his second career in Starfleet, and he's still a commander.
Yeah, but maybe he doesn't. Maybe he's in security. Maybe he doesn't want to be a captain.
Exactly. Not everybody wants that.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Tuvok is very good at what Tuvok does.
That's true.
Yeah. I'd like to see more Tuvok, complete tangent, but I'd like to see more Tuvok do some of this stuff. There's a couple of times in Voyager where you see Tuvok actually hand-to-hand fight, and you realize he's really good.
Mhm.
And so I'd like to see more of that if we're going to bring Tuvok back. But I thought it was strange. I actually thought Tuvok would have left Starfleet at this time because again, he was in it once. He left Starfleet. He came back to Starfleet. Then he's on Voyager for 7 years, and I would think he wanted to stay home, but maybe not.
Yeah.
Maybe he was gone for too long. He's like, I like being away.
his kids may be grown too and going off on their own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
That's true.
Yeah, I like the idea of Tuvok just doing like Starfleet missions. But yeah, I agree. I would like to see a real Tuvok appearance with Tim Russ voicing him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that'd be great. Yeah,
That would be really
Absolutely.
absolutely.
cool. That.
Elaine's curious to know about Boimler's natural hair. I hope it's something just wacko. Like it's not like he's blonde or brunette or something. Like his natural hair color is like green, and he colors it purple just so it won't be green. I just think that would be amazing.
That would be funny.
Or if you wanted it to be red,
Right?
but it went purple instead because he has green hair.
Or it could be light purple and he dyes it dark purple.
Ooh, yeah.
There's a lot of ways they could go with that.
Have we seen purple hair before in Trek?
Yeah. That Catulin character from Way to Eden, who was an alien, had purple hair.
Oh, that's true.
Tongo
Yeah.
Rad, is that his name?
That sounds. I don't remember who.
I don't know. Someone go
Okay.
watch it.
What was the hair color of the lady in the Gamesters of Triskelion who was putting the moves on Chekhov? I can't remember what her hair color was.
Wasn't it like orange?
Oh, okay. Well, not purple, orange. Yeah.
No.
I mean,
Yeah,
it's
it wouldn't
funny
have been
because-
purple. I would have remembered that.
yeah.
Yeah, when I'm picturing it, I picture like every color seems right.
Yeah, right. That's the thing. I couldn't remember either.
Was it green? That looks
No.
like in my head that it was right.
Shauna had green hair in
Yeah.
Games of the Triskelion, and then
Yeah.
on Discovery, Gray has blue hair.
Right.
Yeah.
So I mean, we've seen some variations in hair colors. So
The
And
only
this is-
purple hair I can think of, and again, another incredible tangent, but the 1960s, 70s space show UFO.
yeah,
I
on the
was
moon
just
base.
gonna say the same thing. Keith.
Yeah,
was thinking the
everybody
same
had purple hair.
Right. So this
It's
is the
radio
longest
color.
conversation we'll probably ever have on hair color in Star Trek.
right.
That's true.
What color do you think Picard's hair is?
Wasn't it red?
I
Yes,
think it was
it
red.
was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, what do we think of the spaceborne life forms? Threw a
Those were
little
cool.
alien action in there.
Yeah, those were adorable.
Yeah.
They were okay.
No enthusiasm for the
No,
alien mating.
they were
spawn
just there
thing?
to serve a purpose, and that was it.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
I mean, it was good. I liked.
Yeah.
You know, it fit the story well.
I like that it threw a little bit of sort of weird alienness into it
Yeah.
because they're on Earth the whole time.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and it gave them sort of a sciencey way out of the dilemma.
And what I liked about it was that it let Tendi take the lead on
Mhm.
on the solution to the emergency.
And she's
gave-
supposed to.
No, I was just gonna say that we didn't get a whole lot of that in the first 2 seasons, so I'm glad to see that Tendi like had that opportunity to like be the one to step up and
Yeah.
I've got it solved.
Yeah, and she's supposed to be going into the science division now.
Exactly.
So this is probably the first step of showing us that of her as a scientist instead of just a nurse or a medical practitioner.
Right.
Yeah, I feel like this last season was working up to build her up to be more of a assertive
Yes.
person because she was very much not assertive at all whatsoever at the beginning. But
Yeah, she was
with
very much
yeah.
forgive the pun. She was very green the first season.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I think with the Dr. Ta'ana
Yeah.
talking her up at the end of the season really like got her I was gonna say juices flowing, but that sounds weird. Got her brain in the game. There we go.
Mhm.
Yeah. Elaine says that she's sure Moxie and Magnus could talk more about hair.
Oh yeah.
We should
That's true.
have her on again and just do a whole like hair episode.
Yeah.
About Star Trek. Star Trek and alien hairdos.
That would be fun.
So for viewers or listeners who aren't familiar, that is Lieutenant Moxie Ann Magnus, who you may not know was the chief cosmetologist on Kirk's Enterprise.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
There
Yep.
you go.
We had her on our show.
Yeah.
We did.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should invite her back on.
Okay.
And let's do a whole special about hair.
That'd be fun.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
All right.
No, that would definitely take you to the 60s if you do hair with Star Trek. Because that's
Yeah.
some of the craziest hairstyles were in the 60s.
That's true.
Some of them, yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But sometimes, when you're on a budget episode and you have an alien who just has a nose, like a tiny nose ridge, and that's how you know they're alien. Sometimes they also had really bizarre hair, and that
Yeah.
was how you knew. And then, I mean, if you're going to talk good, really, sarcastically good hair, you got to talk about the Kazon.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
I'm not even sure that was hair.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like coral.
yeah, that's true.
Oh, well, I mean, what do we think about this episode? They resolved the cliffhanger from last year in ways that I didn't expect. But what did you think? Did you feel satisfied by it? Do you like the way they handled it?
Yes. I did feel satisfied by it.
Okay.
Very much so.
I liked seeing some of the relationship between Mariner and her father. That's
Yeah.
something we haven't really gotten so far.
That's true.
There were like whole scenes of the two of them together, and that was really nice.
Mhm.
But also on the bridge where Beckett is like, she comes to that point where there's like, there's nothing I can do, and she just kind of has this little breakdown, and the others are like, you know what, we're here for you.
Mhm.
Whatever happens, we're that was so nice.
Mhm.
And there aren't that many animated shows that can do that kind of character work.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, it
Yeah.
was short and it was quick because this is still a comedy, half-hour animated show. But I loved seeing that sort of like an extra layer to their relationship, to that friendship, that bond between the four of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was brief, but they've been building to it for 2 years now. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
'cause I love the admission that, I mean, what was really driving her in this episode is her fear of losing her mom
Yeah.
and her
Right.
feeling of helplessness over it.
Yep.
Yeah.
That she felt like she had to do something.
Right.
What did you think, Keith?
I enjoyed it. I was a little surprised that it was resolved in one episode. I thought this was going to run on for at least a couple of episodes. So I was completely caught off guard by, like you said, just trust the Starfleet. And then she gives this great, here's what happened. I was like, wait, that's it?
Yeah.
But I actually enjoyed it. I enjoyed the characters. And I still say when they do action, even the little action they did here stuff, I swear they do it as well as any live action Star Trek I've ever seen. It's just absolutely amazing.
Mhm.
The way they staged it, the music, everything is good.
And I don't think it was necessarily how quickly it was resolved. It was that it was resolved off screen.
Yeah. Right.
That's the thing that really kind of caught me.
Me too.
I mean, I knew it was going to wrap up in this one episode just because that's what TNG does.
Mhm.
But the fact that it wrapped up where we didn't see what happened, but
Yeah.
I liked the recap of what happened because
Yeah.
it
Yes.
used the courtroom illustrations and stuff. And I thought that was so great.
Yeah. But it's very much lower decks, though.
Yeah.
Because like ensign so-and-so wouldn't necessarily be at the captain's trial.
Yeah, well, yeah,
Of
course.
And,
That's
until the captain walks back on the ship later and it's like, oh no, that's over.
You're
You
right.
know?
You're right. That's
So
a good point.
I think for lower decks, I think so. Now, I mean, Beckett Mariner might have been at the trial. That's her
Right.
mother.
Right.
Right.
So just as a person, she might have been there. She wasn't for whatever reason.
Yeah.
But
She was off trying to save her.
that's true. But yeah, I mean, if you're just an ensign on a starship,
I know.
you're missing all this stuff, which is I
That's
think is
true.
a fun thing to play with.
Yeah.
Right.
They did the same sort of thing last year with Shax when Shax just walks back in.
Yes.
There was no announcement. Yeah, Shax is just back.
Right.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Also, I want to see that op that Batesman was on, and then it was so funny because with Tupac they literally just showed him neck pinching somebody. I'm like, there's a whole story around that. So it was
Right.
funny, and I guess that's good. It made me want more. So I want to see what happened there.
Yeah.
No, he was mind melding.
Oh,
He was
Mind melding?
interrogating
Yeah.
a guy.
Oh, you're
Yeah,
right.
that's
So
Yeah.
he wasn't neck pinching. Well, even more so. I really want to see what the heck was going on there.
Yes.
That was good.
Matt Sweatman says, I kind of wish that the gang's adventure wasn't completely irrelevant to the trial, even though that was the joke.
Yeah,
I can see that.
I can see that too, but I think it was very significant for them
Mhm.
and for the character stories.
Yeah.
You know, so
Exactly.
I think it works very much in that way. They're not saving the day, but they're having their own adventure and they're all growing as a result of it.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I loved it.
Yeah.
Very
So-
enjoyable start to the season.
Yeah. So where do we think we're going from here? Is the Cerritos just going to have its whole plating back next episode and out
Yeah.
in space?
I think so.
Yeah.
Or maybe the next episode will be like it getting its hull back while something else is going on. So maybe by the end of next week, it'll be out and ready to like hit the
Yeah.
stars.
Yeah, that may be it. It wouldn't surprise me if we just open next week with they're just in orbit, captain's log, and it's
Could
back
be.
to normal. Yeah.
It's very possible.
But
There's no reason not to.
Yeah. And then they're sort of setting up what may be an ongoing thing with Ransom.
Mhm.
Yes.
Riding a herd over Mariner.
Right.
I'm your mommy now, or whatever he said.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
That's
love
what
it.
it said.
I love it.
Yeah.
I'm really interested to see where that's going because I remember in season 1 that one episode where they were together and captured with the crystal
Yes.
aliens. There was a little bit of romantic
Yeah.
interest almost, and then they just completely ignored it
Yeah,
from there on
exactly.
out. And I thought it was just like, but now this is I'm hoping that might play in at least a little bit. I mean, not like be the whole entire thing, but
Matt Sweatman says that he hopes that they don't wait until the end of the season to get to DS9. I'm sure that's not going to be the case.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, if maybe, I mean, that's the thing everybody's looking forward to. So I don't know if you
Right.
want to blow your DS9 load too quick, or if you want to hold it
episode
back.
3,
You know,
episode
To
3.
blow your DS9 sploof.
right?
I
I don't know.
I'm really hoping the Klingon plot comes back. I'm hoping there's something a little deeper there with the Klingons and the Vulcans
And
and
that's why
that.
they have to go to DS9 because the Klingons have decided to hang around DS9 all the time.
Yeah, there you go. That
Could
could
be.
work. But,
Yeah.
but I really like to see that. I really want to see that Klingon plot have more than just what I saw last season and today, which didn't involve the Klingons. I was a little, I guess it makes sense, but I was actually a little surprised that the captain, when she really puts her foot down and is passing her daughter over to somebody else. It's kind of funny because she's always been rebellious, and it was funny because the one time her heart was truly in the right place and she really thought, which I guess is the point, she really thought she was doing the right thing. This is when she really gets slapped down for, you should have trusted the system. This is the one time she wasn't just trying to rebel against her parents
Right.
or even rebel against the Federation. She was really like, my mom's in trouble. So I thought that was rather ironic that that's the one that bites her
Yep.
for all the other stuff she'd done.
Well, if she was Captain Kirk, then she would have been doing the right thing and saved the day.
Yep.
You know, but she's not Captain Kirk. She's an ensign. You
Right,
know,
right.
and not ensigns can't just run off and save the day like that.
Yep.
You know, I guess that's a good point because I mean, think how many times did Kirk basically say things like, so and so saved my life a dozen times over. I got to do this. You know, I got to do the right thing.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very Star Trek character to do what she was doing.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, they all do that. As a matter of fact, there's not a captain who hasn't done what she did.
Right.
I was really kind of hoping that when Cochrane's ship is like taking off and the like wings unfold, I was really hoping to hear Faith of the Heart.
I know, right? Just like a little, like you didn't even have to sing it, just the melody.
Right. Right. That would have been so great.
I prefer Magic Carpet Ride.
I
As
mean,
a
that's what
song.
you have to go with.
Right.
So earlier, Veronica reminded me about a thing with the pads that I wanted to bring up. So we talked before about how in Next Gen, instead of having a stack of books to show that someone's doing lots of research, they have a stack of pads. And why isn't everything accessible from one pad? So in this one, we learn that they would have to go to the Cerritos to get Boimler's pad where he stored all his stuff, because apparently it's not networked and you can't access it from any other. I just
Yeah.
thought that was hilarious.
Yeah.
Like you should, like if it was in OneDrive or Google Docs or something, you would pull it up on any computer, and that's early 21st century.
That's true.
And it's just funny that they had to find a way to get to the ship in order to go to his quarters in order to get his pad. That's hilarious.
True. That's a good point. I didn't even think about that. I just sort of took that at face value.
Right.
That's what Star Trek is.
Yeah.
I will point out that with everyone having their own logs, I mean, I know it's many, 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 many years in the future, and I'm sure they have better data storage. But still, like all of those officers having data storage and everyone having easy access to that from any location seems it's basically like their 35 gazillion terabyte or whatever version of space storage they're using.
It's a lot of logs.
Drive to keep all of their logs and whatnot.
Right. When you're entering nonsense like I got caught smelling the captain's chair today.
Yeah.
I guess if it's audio, it's not going to take up too much, but you make a point, Veronica, because I've heard those conversations before. People have talked about, well, one thing about the logs, and the other thing is and Alan, what you were saying, there's always a question about what is the privacy of the logs that you have? Because people do personal logs.
Oh, yeah.
They do other logs. And then, go back to TNG, many times people in doing investigations and stuff in Star Trek, they go get the people's personal logs. So I kind of wonder if it's like, I work in IT, and the truth is no company data is, no data you put on a company computer is private. End of story.
Nope.
You can say what you want, do what you want. So I'm wondering if it's kind of like that. And I'm wondering if Boimler put it only on that pad so they can't access it. Maybe because he wanted to keep it private. I don't know.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
so
could be.
Matt Sweatman brings up a great point. They save data to the cloud creature storage. That's funny.
Okay. But I'm bummed, Matt.
Oh, yeah, smart ass. Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
I wish I'd thought of that. Okay, so here's another thing. I have said before that with the current model that they're building Star Trek on, the Paramount Plus platform, where they have currently 5 different series, all telling different stories and all a different tone and different style, that I've always wanted to see a Star Trek. Like, you can do anything with a Star Trek show. You can have a Star Trek CSI. You can have, a Star Trek medical show like Chicago Hope, but it'll be Starfleet Hope or something. And, set on a medical frigate or whatever. So now I also, in addition to those, want to see a FNN news service show.
Yeah.
Like reporters and correspondents and uncovering, investigative. I think that'd be so fun.
Starring Jake Sisko.
Yes.
Starring Jake Sisko. Precisely.
Yeah, it's perfect.
It's perfect.
Yeah.
Come on, Paramount Plus. Let's get on it.
Yeah.
I think
sure
we need
Sirach
to
would
have
be up for it.
we need to have 10 Star Trek shows in production at the same time. And here I've given you 3 right there. Hire me. Please hire me.
They would all have 2 episodes per season, but I still want them.
Well, and that's another thing. You can do a one-off special, or you could do a 3-episode miniseries, or you could do a TV movie, or whatever. There's so many. You don't have to do a 10-episode season with every one of these. Or if you did, it could be a 1-season show.
Yeah. Especially right now with the number of assets they're producing and having the AR wall. And I mean, it costs nothing to have a planet background on the, I mean, it costs something for the AR wall, but I mean, you could have a planet background that was on Strange New Worlds and throw it behind, using Jake Sisko as an example. And it's fine, shift the color a little bit. You're good.
And as you say, it does cost for the AR wall, but as much as they spent for that thing, they need to use it as much as possible to get their money on it. So
that's right.
Start these shows, man. Come on, let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of potential there. I could see a Vulcan reading the news, just completely bland. Just literally completely bland. Or you could do a lot of stuff with that. You could do a Tellarite who basically everything is negative and insulting. You could do all kinds. We could have a Nausicaan on there, kind of like a riff on, was it Futurama, where there was that alien? There was a news on Futurama. There was a a couple of newscasters, and one of them was an alien who's pretty much always saying they were going to conquer Earth or something crazy
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
And the lady
Yeah.
always laughed.
Yeah.
Exactly. Let's see. Matt says they could use these news segments to tease future episodes and seasons. See?
Yeah.
That's true.
Look
Yeah.
at the possibilities.
Yeah. That would be hilarious if like they had like Picard teasers on that instead of just jokes being on the crawl. It'd
Yes.
be like, you know, Captain Worf heads to Delta Quadrant or whatever,
Yes.
like it'd be like, whoa, is that a clue?
Yes. Holy smokes. All right. So, Mr. Kurtzman, my phone number is 404. Give me a call. I hire me for your show development. I'll hook you up with my friends here and we will brainstorm. We will build
Check
out.
and write you a Star Trek story.
Right.
Right.
Come
So-
on.
we say it comedically and jokingly, but there's to what you said, Alan, there's some real serious discussion and analysis behind that, because one thing I've heard people talk about over the decades is, if you think about it, at the end of the day, we pretty much only see the entire Star Trek universe through the military.
Yeah.
There is the Federation, but it's Starfleet, it's the military. And there's many times where I'm thinking about what you're saying is, in real life nowadays, other than when you have wars like the Russian invasion of Ukraine and stuff, how much does the average person really pay attention to what the military is doing every day?
Yeah.
So, there is a question about what would the news cover with Starfleet?
Mhm.
Because it's always events, the whale ship and the Borg and stuff like that. But do they have slow years where there's not a whole bunch of coverage? I mean, does everybody in the galaxy know Kirk's face or Picard's face? Would they know their faces?
They
How
don't.
well? Yeah, I remember when I was younger.
Remember in the first season of Picard, he's like, I'm Picard, and he's like, first name?
Exactly.
And that kid was at Starfleet.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
we look at our own history. There are some people we all would recognize. During World War II, of course, you'd recognize people like Eisenhower and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
those of us old enough might remember what General Schwarzkopf looked like.
Yeah.
It's something like that. But outside of that, you don't really pay much attention to the military. So it would be very interesting to see what the news would be like. Because basically, if there's not a war or somebody about to destroy the Earth, what coverage on the news does the military even get? And I am calling it military, folks, because I say Starfleet's military. I know there's a whole discussion about that. But
So
I just call it military.
paramilitary.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
A peacekeeping armada.
right.
There we go.
Keeping
That's
the peace through
Yeah.
maximum firepower.
That's a really good idea with the news show. And I've also, you mentioned another one I've always loved. I've always wanted to see a medical show.
Oh, me too.
Yeah, I've read so
Yeah.
much science fiction and books that talked about medical spaceships, hospital ships. And
Yeah.
we got the glimpse in What Is It, All Good Things, where Dr. Crusher was captain of a medical ship.
Right
I'd
on.
love to see that, because they would go everywhere, just like an exploration ship.
Yeah.
Yep.
If it's a colony that's in trouble, if there's a
Mhm.
virus that needs to be fixed, if there's just anything, I mean, they can
Right.
do. And then you have your research department, and I
Mhm.
think it would be great.
Yeah, I
Mhm.
think so too.
Yeah, I think the problem with something like that that's so specialized is like a starship, like the Enterprise can do a medical emergency.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But they can also do a bunch of other things as well, So I mean they would I would love for them to do something like that, something that's sort of oddball like that, but
Yeah.
it would be a little bit more difficult, I think, to keep coming up with ideas.
House
It would
in
have
space.
What?
It would have to be frontier medicine. They would have to be on the fringes,
Yeah.
with colonies that don't have a lot of technology and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It would have to be something like that.
And what did you say, Veronica?
I was saying house in space.
Oh,
Right.
that's true. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And it would tie in with TNG, because technically that's Sherlock Holmes. So there you go.
Or it could be a half-hour comedy, and it could be Scrubs in space.
That's true too. Yeah.
Yes.
A workplace comedy kind of.
Yeah, right. Bring back Pulaski.
Yeah.
Yes.
I guess I don't dare bring up medical center in space, because nobody will get the reference,
Mm-mm.
like I thought.
Okay.
That's serious in the 70s.
Matt Sweatman says all those TOS episodes where the Enterprise had to get the vaccine where it goes, we would see that happen after Kirk delays getting them their cure.
That's true. I would love to see an episode where they're waiting for the cure and like, what are they doing?
Right.
They're
Oh, that Kirk. Every time that Kirk.
Right. Yeah. That would be funny.
Yeah, it would be.
All right. Well, any closing thoughts this week on the season premiere of Lower Decks?
It's fantastic.
It was fun. It was probably not as dramatic as I thought it was going to be, but I really enjoyed it. And I'm, as always, loving this series. So I'm just looking forward to what comes next.
Totes.
Yeah. How about you, Veronica?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Is your closing thoughts?
Yes.
Yes.
More, please.
Okay.
Well, how about you, Chuck?
Yeah, I thought it was great. I mean, I just love this show. And when it was first announced and even into the first season, I was very skeptical, and it sort of won me over the course of season 1. And I mean, at this point, it's like, I mean, Lower Decks is my favorite of the current Star Trek shows. And it's just so much fun and so comforting to watch it. And they do new different things with Star Trek, but the universe of Star Trek, especially that 24th century Star Trek, is just what it is.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just great. I just love it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. All right, Alan, where can people find more of you?
All right. Well, I have another podcast. It is called Modern Musicology, and we talk about all kinds of music topics. Most of them are open-ended, so that pretty much any kind of music can be thrown into the mix. So we might ask a question: what's a really terrible album by a really great band or artist, which was last week's episode. And you might get Metallica in the same discussion as Parliament Funkadelic, in the same discussion as Frank Sinatra. We're all across the board. So I hope you'll give us a listen. And I've got my little publishing company called Cosmic Press. You can find it at Cosmic Press, KOZMICpress.com.
And how about you, Keith?
Standard social media platforms, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Haha.
And how about us, Veronica?
Feltnerdy.com.
And
Monkeying Around, a podcast about the monkeys.
that's right. And
I saw you getting ready, Alan.
and if you're going to be at Dragon Con, come see one of our puppet shows at Dragon Con. And if you do, come say hey.
Yes.
Whether we know you or whether we don't know you. I would love for people who listen to Earth Station Trek to come up to us at a puppet show and say hi. And I'd love to meet you, whoever you are.
Absolutely. I'm going to be on a lot of panels at Dragon Con, in a couple in the Star Trek track, quite a few in the British media track. So come look for me on one of the Star Trek panels. I'll be there repping Earth Station Trek, and in a couple of music panels in the Brit track, I'll be repping Modern Musicology. So come see us.
Awesome.
Looking forward to meeting some folks.
Yeah. And do you have a closing for us, Veronica?
Thanks to Alan, yes. Don't let the door hit you where the big bang split you.
You say blank every time.
But I corrected myself before I continued.
That's true.
The
big
blang.
Bang hit you. Don't let the door hit you where the big bang split you.
There you go.
Right on.
Nailed
Woohoo!
it.
And if this were not a live recording, Chuck would have edited that. So I did it right the first time. Or he would have kept it in just to be funny.
Yeah, that sounds more like it.
Yeah.
All right. Take care, everybody. Have a great week. We'll see you next Thursday. And keep on trekking.